I hope this discussion goes on. I want to say a few things because to me, the purpose of this meeting today was to bring a voice that's been lost, a voice that needs to be heard. This campaign, we're finding ourselves continually neglecting some of the more important issues. And today I wanted to reinstate a few, and then I want to keep this conversation going because this campaign is focused on doing what is right, and again, leadership. So I am proud today of all of you, and thanks for being here. This is just the beginning of where we need to go, and we will continue that route. Some of you have worn the military uniform, and I want to thank you for that, because a lot of us have fought for the importance of what we are standing for today. And if you go to the Vietnam Memorial, you will see a lot of hyphenated names. You will see a lot of names of great Americans who have fought for this freedom. And I want to tell you thank you. Minorities make up 20% of our population. That's more than 500,000 people. 4 out of 10 Utahns, either through birth or immigration, belong to a minority. This is part of a great face, a new face, and as Randy stated, a growing face. I call them my friends, my fellow citizens, as I just said, my fellow warriors. And to describe what I would do as a governor, I want to go through that a little bit of that today, because you all have opportunities, you have dreams, you have aspirations, and you have families, and I think we're neglecting those. And there are many ways we can show our respect, and we are not. First and foremost, we must see each other as fellow citizens, Americans, neighbors, and friends, and be inclusive, not exclusive. Over the past 3 decades, I've worked along with a lot of you. I built my first project, which was called Heartland, which is now nationally one of the most famous in rich, only showing that we can mix personalities, population bases, neighborhoods, immigration, and it is a great example of what almost 20 years ago I've done. I want to make this an important part of this campaign. I support the Utah Compact. I've signed it. As governor, I said I will also oppose any legislation that runs contrary to that compact. That distinguishes me from Governor Herbert, who disclosed during the gubernatorial forum at the Salt Lake Area Chamber of Commerce last week he did not sign the compact, and he will not. And when asked if he would veto any legislation with the compact, he did not answer the question directly, saying he preferred not to speculate. The signers of that compact include mayors of cities, Salt Lake County, as we saw Randy Horiuchi here today, the state AG, 2 former Republican governors, former U.S. Senator Jake Garn, members of the Episcopalian, the Catholic, the Lutheran churches, the United Way, the Salt Lake Area Chamber of Commerce, publishers of 2 state largest newspapers, and most other civic groups and citizens. The LDS Church did not sign it, but they issued a statement of support, calling the compact a reasonable approach to the urgent challenge of immigration. Another important, the New York Times said this of the compact: it would be hard to find a clearer expression of good sense and sanity. I agree. It's pro-family, It's pro-business, explains the proper role of law enforcement. It states that a free society must adopt a humane approach to immigration with a spirit of inclusion. And it ends with a statement that, quote, Utah should always be a place that welcomes people of goodwill. Under my administration, I would take an approach towards immigration perfectly expressed by the Compact, and one that reaffirms our global reputation as a welcoming and business-friendly state. I would strongly urge any citizen in Utah who feels as I do to sign online the Compact. Here's what I want to do as governor. Number one, I will restore the State Office of Ethnic Affairs. Which was eliminated in 2011 and, as earlier stated, was replaced with a voluntary board. The Office of Ethnic Affairs is not just symbolic recognition of growth and the vitality of Utah's minority population. It should be a place where those in Utah's minority communities feel they have a voice in shaping policy that serve and impact them.
That's right.
Let me tell you, that office was originally created in 1972 during Governor Cal Rampton's administration. And Vince is here to take all the credit. That vision and that spirit of inclusion started by Cal Rampton will be the hallmark of the Cooke-Rampton organization. Over the years, the governors of both parties have shown a keen interest in listening to and advocating for Utah minorities. During the time I served as Director of Economic Development in this state, the Minority Division was assigned to my office. I saw firsthand the entrepreneurial spirit that was vibrant with Utah's ethnic and racial groups. I saw the problems they encountered in healthcare, in education, and housing. A new generation is encountering some of these same issues, especially in healthcare and education. We must, as a state, give our best effort to solve them. Sadly, the close bond that should exist between the minority communities and Utah's governor has been broken. And not just symbolically, but the elimination of the Office of Ethnic Affairs shows a lack of meaningful contact with Utah minorities and the state's chief executive. The word with the minority community is that they are no longer a priority to the decision makers at the top. Now, the Office of Ethnic Affairs is a bridge between government and people and bringing it closer so we can serve. And by eliminating that office, the governor and the state legislature sent a message to the minority community, a message that they are of less value. As the Salt Lake Chamber of Commerce gubernatorial forum last week, Governor Herbert said the Office of Ethnic Affairs was closed. Quote, it took away people getting paid and not doing their work. And he went to say that he's not into hyphenated names. That was an insult. Not only to all of us in the room, it was an insult to especially to the minority community. Such comments are highly insensitive, inconsiderable, represent a certain callous towards Utah's ethnic and minority community. That should never have been uttered by a governor of our state. And for the record, I'm in favor of hyphenated names, especially Cooke-Rampton. Second, greater minority representation in my administration. I want to make that commitment today. openly encourage and appoint qualified members of the minority community to be represented on state boards, commissions, and taking leading roles in my administration in the executive office. I will encourage the participation in the political process at the grassroots level. Leaders in the minority community have told me that recent immigrants are often taught to fear government in their home country. So when they resettle in the United States, they bring those same fears with them. We want all our citizens to be law-abiding, but we also want them to feel they are part of the political mainstream, not the fringes. When people feel empowered and listened to, like we're doing today, potential problems and misunderstandings can be avoided. Utah has not seen that kind of hatred and intolerance that is often seen in other states and communities. We want to keep it that way. Young people need good mentors, advisors, and guides. What better example can we have for them than the representatives, I think, in this room? Education. I'm keenly aware that our public education system is not adequately serving some segments of our minority community. For example, 21.6% of our high school students don't graduate, or they don't complete enough credits in their 4 years to get a diploma. About 50% of these students are Latinos. This trend must stop.
Yes.
This is a tragic loss of talent and promise, and has the effect of keeping these students from achieving